Hi there, this is Stephen with Synergistic Nutrition. Do you have difficulties with energy? I know that is a common problem for many of us, especially after a certain age. And maybe you've tried for a long time now, just trying to combat the energy problem with drinking caffeine in the form of coffee or green tea. And we know the adrenals are wonderful at delivering the energy to the body when they work right, when they're strong and they have reserve energy. They will provide with the caffeine stimulation. You'll get a production of epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine. So that's all the excitatory neurotransmitter and neurohormones. So you'll get a window of time where you have energy from that. But my experience has been that I can only go a few days on coffee before I feel jittery and not good from drinking coffee. And I have to stop drinking it. So that ends up telling me that it's not a practical means of long-term energy production. In fact, it tells me that in the end, my adrenals will become tired and I will have more fatigue from drinking coffee on a daily basis as my stopgap measure for dealing with fatigue. And the other ways in the nutritional world that you could support your energy is by taking adrenal glandular extracts, which I carry, very good one. Or you could take the necessary methylated B vitamins that are needed for B1 and B2 are needed for the mitochondria of the cell to make energy. B5 is needed by the adrenal glands. Vitamin C is needed by the adrenal glands. So there's various ways that you can support the adrenals. Also, there's adaptogens you can take. I've done those. I had adrenal exhaustion when I was 20 years of age, so I have been a long time studying the subject and trying all the different things that could be used to remedy the adrenal fatigue. And I've tried all the adaptogens. So yeah, I've tried all the adaptogens. So ashwagandha, maca, eleuthero, ginseng, rhodiola, and quite a few others that are just not on the tip of my tongue to share. And again, herbal-wise, I noticed less from those. For me, I always notice more from taking amino acids with methylated B vitamins. So I would take Super Sports, I would take Glucobalance, I would take All Basic Plus, and I'd always take those with Triphos B, which is a methylated B6, B1, B2 supplement. And then that would buy me time. I would have energy for hours of the day, sometimes 2 days or 1.5 days long effects, very strong effects. And so I always got much better results with energy from increasing my adrenal hormones from amino acids and from methylated B vitamins. And the other way that I found to increase energy was by supporting the thyroid gland. So most people do not know that in order to have optimal energy metabolism in the body, that you need to be taking what's called a whole body sufficient dosage of iodine and iodide. So I invite you to go to this is my website, synergisticnutrition.com. Go to the product page for Lugo tab. There's a variety of concentration dosages you can check on. I'm just going to click on a common one. And then
from the hill country.
Very loud, but that just, I don't know why that starts like that. I got to fix that. But so here you have an interview where the late Patrick Timpone is the host, interviewing Dr. David Brownstein to educate you about the subject of iodine and why the body needs a whole body sufficient dosage. So a whole body sufficient dosage is going to be starting at about 12.5 milligrams on up for an adult. And most people aren't aware of this, so they only take a microgram dosage just because of the misinformation out there on the topic. So people take 300 micrograms, 150 micrograms, 600 micrograms, and that's all. That's not enough to effect the dramatic improvements in your energy, your mood, your memory, your cognitive health, your reproductive health. And then if you're in your reproductive years and still plan on having children, this is the number one nutrient to ensure that your child will develop an excellent brain and have a high IQ. This is the number one nutrient to ensure proper brain development. There are others, but this is the number one missing one. So, if you're trying to address energy, you have to address the thyroid and the adrenals for sure. You have to make sure they're well nourished. So you have to have the adult dosage of iodine. I take 25 milligrams a day. That's a good dosage for most adults because most people it takes 2 years to make up for the deficiency, to catch up from the years and decades of your deficiency. Lots of women out there have a low thyroid, so this is a vital component to recovery of normal thyroid. I'm still amazed at the number of practitioners, healthcare professionals out there who say, yes, taking a little bit of thyroid hormone is going to be good for you and all this stuff, as though there's no other option, as though there's no other way to restore thyroid function to normal. I have news for you, there is. I have 2 clients that have restored their thyroid function to normal in 4 months or less over the last 2 years. 2 women clients. I myself had a hyperthyroid. I restored my hyperthyroid function to normal, to about 98% normal in about 9 months, and then I took longer to learn about the immune part of it and had to fix that, and now it's normal. All my symptoms are normal. So, you need to know what to do to fix the thyroid. This is one component. This is a foundational component. There are other things you could take as well. But the overall subject of this particular video is to how to increase your energy on a daily basis, and your adrenal and thyroid health has to be attended to as foundational. Now, what I want to introduce you to is pretty profound, because every cell of your body has to have mitochondria in it in huge numbers, hundreds and thousands, in order to produce enough energy for those tissues to work correctly. So whether it's your eye, or your brain, or your thyroid, or your adrenals, or your heart, or your skeletal muscles, or your liver, or your kidneys, spleen, everything is dependent upon every cell having enough healthfully functioning mitochondria to produce enough ATP for those cells to function correctly. So when you're older and your mitochondria levels have dropped, or the health of the mitochondria have been compromised, in which, by the way, when you take antibiotics, because the cell membrane of your mitochondria are the same thin cell wall membrane of a bacteria, and that is how antibiotics kill bacteria. Antibiotics are basically fungal toxins. They culture fungi. The fungi produce toxins to kill bacteria, and then they put them into pills for you to take. And so that antibiotic action of destroying the cell membrane of the bacteria also is damaging or killing the mitochondria through damaging the cell membrane of the mitochondria. So you wonder why one of the side effects of taking something like cipromycin is kidney failure. It's because so many of the mitochondria within the kidney cells were destroyed that the kidney function stopped and the person died of kidney failure. So that's one of the consequences of using this modern day pharma stuff. It's much better to trust in nature and nature's pharmacy. 99.9% of the time, you will have the results you're looking for. We have things like, really good silver. We have the best nanostate silver you can use is on our website. And that's a very excellent natural antimicrobial, antiviral, and antibacterial. All kinds of natural plant chemicals that are antimicrobial too. So just a heads up about that, your mitochondria are precious. In order to have optimal energy, in order to have optimal memory, optimal mood, your brain cells have to be producing enough ATP to do this. So when you're older and you're trying to recover this level of physical vitality that you had when you were younger, and the positive mood and the optimized memory, ease of getting your words and speaking them, then you would want to consider using the following. So I experimented with this product. This is Perfect Press brand. So of all the seed oils on the market, this is the best brand of seed oils I've found. So Perfect Press presses at 104 degrees. The oil comes out. It's tested for oxidation. It's anywhere from 0 to 4%, which is virtually nothing. And I like the black cumin seed oil of all their products that they sell because this one has the most medicinal value. There's a naturally produced chemical in the black seed. It's called thymoquinone. So thymoquinone has many, many benefits to the body. Thymoquinone kills viruses, fungus, bacteria, parasites, tumor cells. It supports the healthy membrane potential of your mitochondria. So if you go to, okay, so on this page, the title of this study is called Black Cumin, a promising natural remedy for wide range of illnesses. So in the body of this particular study, there is a study noting on animals that they caused to develop Alzheimer's disease. And they noticed that with black cumin seed oil, that it would inhibit the mitochondrial membrane potential depolarization. So what that means is it inhibits the mitochondria from losing the electrons they need to be able to convert glucose into ATP. That's all that means. So basically, this product is something you can feel. It has a profound anti-inflammatory effect. It has a profound energization effect. So this is a product that I can feel. It has a profound effect. I mean, it has, years earlier when I took it, it shrunk my enlarged prostate to a degree, but it always made me feel better. And now I've explained to you the scientific reason why is that it improves mitochondrial membrane health and its ability to retain its electrons so that those little organelles called mitochondria can more efficiently and optimally make ATP. So it dramatically improves mitochondrial health. Then if I combine this, 1 tablespoon of this in 6 to 8 ounces of water, and it could be vegetable juice, it doesn't have to be water, with 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil, and I like Barlean's brand. So this brand of flax oil is pressed, I would say, equal in quality potentially to this black cumin seed oil pressing process, because they also use a low temperature pressing process. And when I called the company, they told me the testing that they do for oxidation on it showed that that only has 0.01% to as much as 2.4% oxidation for flaxseed oil. That's miraculous. That's almost unheard of. So that means virtually zero oxidation. So you can benefit immensely from flax oil in your diet on a regular basis. Why? So your cell membranes are made up of what's called bilipid membranes. They're largely fatty acids. So there's a thing called essential fatty acids. So the 2 essential fatty acids are omega-3 and omega-6. What do they do and why are they important? They become a part of the cell membrane. So if you're eating unoxidized omega-3 and omega-6, then they'll become a part of the cell membrane and act favorably to be magnets to absorb oxygen into the cell. There is a universal oxygen deficiency in disease. There's a universal oxygen deficiency in the air compared to what it should be ideally. Ideally, if we had a more Edenic planet, if mankind was wise enough to respect natural law and respect the forests and respect the oceans and respect the planet that gives life to our bodies as though it is an entity and a mother that has given us the building blocks for the bodies to exist. If mankind respected Mother Earth to the degree that he and she should, and loved Mother Earth as a mother and took care of her, then there would be no polluted oceans, and there would be massive forests on the planet. There would be massive amounts of algae life in the oceans, and there would be an abundance of oxygen in the atmosphere. We wouldn't be using internal combustion engines. We'd be using water to convert that into energy, and we wouldn't be using any toxic technologies. So under these more ideal circumstances, we would have probably a 25% to 30% oxygen level in the atmosphere. So I maintain that we are not living in the ideal conditions that God had designed for Mother Earth because of mankind's destruction of the Earth's ecosystems. And if you want to respect that's the fact, that the atmospheric oxygen levels are very low, they're 10 to 21%, depending on where you live, then you need to do something to compensate for the oxygen deficiency. And the way you do it is by improving your cell's oxygen uptake. the ability of the cell membrane to attract and absorb oxygen. And omega-3 that's unoxidized does that. That's why Joanna Budwig, a famous lipid biochemist in the 1950s in Hungary, had a 90% success rate at curing cancer with what was called the Budwig diet. 1 cup or 6 tablespoons of flax oil to 1 cup of cottage cheese mixed up, and that cottage cheese is eaten throughout the day, and then a plant-based diet. She had a high success rate. However, nowadays I don't recommend the current cottage cheese on the market. I would be getting it only from an Amish farmer, and I wouldn't even think it's necessary. I might even go with something like yogurt. Anyways, don't want to get off the point. So these two oils together, 1 tablespoon each, in juice or water in the morning. And also you want to add 1 dropper full of Ultimate Methylene Blue. So Ultimate Methylene Blue is an electron donor. This is a unique product on the market because it's a nanostate, so it's absorbed better, and it is a glycerosome. So it's bound to glycerin, so it transports into the cell more efficiently than methylene blue by itself would do. And it's got ascended gold in it, which is a nutritional form of gold that's very good for the DNA of your body and your nervous system. So what does methylene blue do for your mitochondria? It donates the electrons necessary to make sure that the electron transport chain has the electrons it requires to go from step to step to step in the process of converting glucose into ATP and into an optimal level of ATP, which is 38 units of ATP for every molecule of glucose. And this is also a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. So because methylene blue is a MAO inhibitor, MAO inhibitors are just chemicals that slow down the breakdown or inhibit the breakdown of your epinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. So you have a higher level of these neurotransmitters in your nervous system, which has an antidepressant effect. In other words, your brain feels more on, you feel more alert, you feel more aware, you feel better. So this is something that people don't take if they're on any kind of another MAO inhibitor, especially things like serotonin reuptake inhibitors, because you can experience what's called serotonin toxicity. Also, too much methylene blue might affect some people that are prone to high blood pressure, but not me and not most people. So part of dealing with cancer is dealing with the metabolic aspects of it, the inefficiency of the mitochondria in making energy. So part of addressing cancer nutritionally is addressing the efficiency, the health of the mitochondria, the number of mitochondria, and how effectively the mitochondria are working to convert glucose into energy. And this supports that. This supports the healthy functioning of the mitochondria. So I have found that when I combine all 3 of these in the morning, empty stomach, with food, doesn't matter, but it does take 3 to 4 hours to kick in. So I do it early enough. Provided you have enough good sleep at night, you do this in the morning. I'm blown away by how good you feel. I mean, it's profound. It resurrects me. My dear friend Andrea, she also experiences this dramatic improvement in her energy, productivity. So I want you to know about it, because so many times when you're listening to a nutritionist, healthcare provider, holistic healthcare provider talk about ways to have more energy, they're talking about adrenal function, thyroid function, and B vitamins, and not much else. And yes, mitochondrial health is a huge part of it, and we can increase the numbers of the mitochondria. We can increase the health of the existing mitochondria. We can improve the oxygen environment of the mitochondria so it can breathe better, make oxygen or convert glucose into energy better, and we can donate electrons to the mitochondria so that it works better. So with these 3 things, I have found a profound improvement. I've done many adrenal products over the years, and none of them give me an all-day long energy effect. So I'd say I get about 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours, if I do these together in the morning. Do not take these at night. You probably will not sleep. You'll have good creative energy, but you probably won't sleep. So take these in the morning if you're interested. If you want to talk with me about these products, I'm available, of course, for conversation on that. Feel free to call, and I'm happy to talk to you. And so I am open on East Coast time between 10 and 4, Monday through Friday, and you can call the number in this video presentation. Blessings. I hope you experience the fulfillment of your dreams, goals, and desires in your life. And thanks for your attention.